Two Drink Cinema. Cheers. All right, a little bit more
Back.
getting to know you
And we
now.
are back.
We're back from our non-commercial break. You might have noticed we're drinking during. We'd say it's unprofessional, but the name is Two Drink Cinema, so it's on brand.
It's in my job
But
description.
we're in the stubby holders
Yes.
until someone sponsors us.
Yep.
We have 2 or 3 potential drinks that we'd like to sponsor us.
Yep.
but
All are made
we'll
from
wait.
apples. Hint.
If anyone makes an alcoholic drink out of
Actually-
apples, let us know.
Or if you make
Not apple
alcoholic
wine.
drinks out of potatoes.
Potatoes or apples.
Yep.
Also, my favourite vegetable and my favourite fruit.
My only vegetable and my only fruit.
I'll eat a carrot and a banana.
Nah.
Okay.
I'll eat a carrot, but I'm not going to make carrots.
Can you make alcohol out of carrots?
I reckon you could make
There's
some
got
sort
sugar-
of carrot,
there's sugar in
carrot
it.
liqueur.
Herbert Linger might have made carrot wine. We didn't introduce in the first segment our guest for this week, Dr. Frank N.
Dr.
Furter.
Frank Enferter. Got dressed up for the occasion.
He's always
Don't be
dressed up.
scared. He is just a sweet transvestite.
I dressed as Dr. Frank N. Furter to a Halloween party.
Speaking of childhood
Then my
trauma,
brother threw my wig in the fire.
I did not.
Someone did.
It wasn't me.
Someone did.
That
So
was maybe one of those times I had more than 2 drinks.
That was more than 2 drinks. I just remember the last third of the party, I was just a guy in fishnet stockings because I didn't have a wig anymore.
It wasn't me. Shaggy.
Rocky Horror
Shaggy, it wasn't me.
is a favourite movie of mine too. Not the top
Number
5.
6th. It's number 6 on Lee's list.
Maybe 7.
Ooh.
It is time for some more getting to know you. If you didn't consume our first episode,
Okay.
what's the word? There's a word we can say, because watch and listen, because we're podcast and YouTube.
Yeah.
Consume. You consume content.
Well, that makes it sound like you're eating me.
Ingest. If you didn't ingest
You didn't
episode
ingest.
1, the getting to know you an introductory
Yeah.
episode of Two Drink Cinema with Lee and Brett, the drinking brothers. The drinking brothers, like the circus.
Like the Ringling Brothers.
Yeah.
Like Hugh Jackman.
And Zac Efron, who weren't brothers.
And to a lesser extent, Zendaya.
A much lesser extent. Very disappointing vocal performance. Up there with Russell Crowe for disappointing vocal performances.
No,
for
that's
me.
going to need a whole
There's a
episode.
bug
I
in
think.
front of me. Getting to know you.
Getting to
All
know
right,
us.
we don't like Zendaya in Greatest Showman.
Zendaya.
Fact.
I
Zendaya or
don't think
Zendaya?
I don't not like her.
I
It's
like
just
her acting.
She's not
She's
Hugh
just not
Jackman.
vocally great.
Yeah.
She's not Hugh Jackman or Zac Efron. Even Michelle Williams is better singing than Zendaya.
Yeah, or the bearded woman, who's actually a singer, so that's probably not fair.
In another note, Zendaya on-screen kiss, good record. Zac Efron and Tom Holland.
Didn't she also have that thing in that Euphoria thing as well?
Which one?
She was in that TV show Euphoria. She won an Emmy for. She
Who'd
kissed
she
a girl.
kiss in that one?
I don't know.
Was it a girl
I
as
watched-
good looking as Tom Holland?
No, I watched one. I watched one episode and went, I don't think I can. This is too intense. I can't
I
watch
don't even
all
know
this.
it. Euphoria. I'll have to look it up. It's about TV. We're not about
On
TV.
screen, smaller screens.
We're
We're
on
about the
screen.
bigger screens.
Yeah, Two Drink Cinema. What is your favourite genre of film? Genre. Genre, subtitles.
like comedy, basic. It's really boring, isn't it?
Okay. Action. But I do like
I
an
don't mind a
action
musical.
action slash.
Action slash.
So an action comedy
Okay.
or an action something.
Family sci-fi.
Family sci-fi.
Okay. Action comedy like a The Heat with
Oh,
Sandra
no.
Bullock. Oh.
Is that
Miss
action
Congeniality.
comedy? Spy
Yeah.
with Melissa McCarthy.
No, I didn't say that. I mean, but The Heat with Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock.
Nah, maybe just
Oh,
action
okay.
then.
Action
like-
comedy like... I've run out of things.
Tweet us. What's an action comedy film? Because I've just... actions or comedies?
Like Date Night with Steve Carell and Tina Fey.
Or games night.
I haven't
You know,
seen
there's
that.
the games night one. I think
Oh,
has
yeah.
Jason Bateman and they get kidnapped.
Or like Tag.
And then people think it's a game.
Yes.
of games night, but they're
Yeah.
actually really kidnapped. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
All right, that was quick. That was a good, easy, quick.
Well, I
segment
also
done.
don't mind a musical. They're good, like sit down and watch a musical, get you singing along.
Yes, but
If it's
I'm
not got
picky
Meryl
with
Streep in
some
it.
musicals. Like some musicals, I'm like, yes, Hairspray, Dreamgirls, Greatest Showman, and some of the classics.
Yep.
But then some, I'm just like, this didn't need to be a musical.
Like Mamma Mia,
Yeah,
La La Land,
We Will Rock You, La La Land. Yeah, that's a whole nother
Rock
episode.
of Ages, the movie.
You need to watch Rock of Ages, the movie, and pretend it has nothing to do with Rock of Ages, the stage show.
But it still has something to do with awful Tom Cruise
Yeah, Tom Cruise, no.
and Alec Baldwin
Catherine Zeta-Jones is good.
and Russell Brand.
And the two mains are good. The boy
Julianne
and the girl.
Hough.
Yeah, and the boy.
That's how you say it.
Okay. We have been to a lot of cinemas
Yes.
and seen a lot of
I've
movies
spent too much money.
in our days.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your funniest story from at a cinema? We have one each.
We have
and
one
they
each,
both
yes.
involved middle-aged ladies.
I don't know if I don't know if the lady in my story was middle aged. I think she was a bit more advanced.
Golden aged.
Yeah. So I went to the movies. This was what 2008.
What
Let's
movie
say
was
that? Atonement. I went to
Big
watch
typewriter scene.
Big.
Big.
Yes.
No other film has featured a typewriter as
Yeah.
heavily as Atonement.
So I went with my mother to watch Atonement because we go and watch a lot of Oscar-nominated movies every year.
Yes.
Unless there's a pandemic and you can't, and then you just stream them. And we were sitting in the movie. It was in a smaller cinema.
Yep.
And this 2-hour-long epic movie of this love story of
Very
James
serious.
McAvoy and Keira Knightley surrounded by the World War II. The London was being bombed. Everything. You just found out that all these flashbacks and that didn't really happen because they actually died. And then the girl from earlier comes on the screen to talk about the book she wrote about this life story.
Yes.
And she's played by an older actress because it's now current time. And it was a very famous actress. And there was clearly a woman in the cinema that was trying to work out who the actress was. You know, everybody has this thing where you see a movie
Yep.
and you think, oh, I know them from somewhere.
Oh, who's that? Oh,
Who's
what's she
that?
been
Oh,
in?
I think I saw her in an episode of Seinfeld.
Yep.
Oh, blah.
Yep.
So then this intense movie, and it's all just sitting there, and this woman just goes, oh, it's Vanessa Redgrave. And I'm like, and then I turned to
Very
Mum and I turned
serious.
to each other and we're just like, what? are you
Very
on?"
serious. End
Very
of this
serious
whole big
movie.
love story. And
Oh.
middle to golden age ladies are
Yes.
starting to lose the
Yeah.
volume control.
Yeah.
And what also limits the volume control is wine. I went to see Dallas Buyers Club with...
Speaking
Yep.
of 2 drink cinemas.
I went to see the Dallas Buyers Club. Matthew McConaughey, great movie, also very serious.
Yes.
With my now husband, accidentally on Valentine's Day,
Mm-hmm.
because we wanted to go and see a movie. And we went to a cinema that has a liquor license.
Yep.
So this lady had a couple of wines before the movie had started. And about 15, 20 minutes into the movie, Matthew McConaughey is not feeling very well and he collapses in his trailer at the rodeo
Yes.
and falls down and is obviously very unwell. And the cinema is very shocked that all of a sudden, and you know, it's because he's got the AIDS.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you look into movies, you can work out at the start why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you blah blah blah, and this is the moment when we realise that Matthew McConaughey has the AIDS, and this woman in the silently shocked cinema turns to her husband, and at that middle-aged 3-wine voice, "This isn't a romantic movie." And kind of took everybody else in the cinema
Yeah.
out of that moment.
Yeah, that kind of does ruin it.
Yeah. But then the rest of the movie, I think she kind of realised
What was going on?
that that's what the movie was about, and she was getting a little bit more involved in how good it was.
Yes.
Good performance by Matthew
Wouldn't be
McConaughey.
done these days. They'd have to recast that if they were remaking it these days. Jared Leto wouldn't get that gig
Because he's white.
because he's a cisgendered heteronormative man.
Oh, yes, that's
Yeah,
true.
So he wouldn't be playing that.
Which is fine.
Also, I have another funny story I just thought of.
Oh, yes.
Because I used to
Middle-aged
work.
women?
Yes.
Oh,
Funnily enough,
we love
I
middle-aged
think her
women in
name
cinema.
may have been Karen. No, I don't know. I
This
used
was
to,
in the pre-Karen age.
yes, it was. I used to work at the cinemas. For those of you listening that don't know, so I have a lot of cinema stories. Some of them I won't say because I'll get someone in trouble. But I was working at the cinemas during the day. It's very quiet, and this woman came up, bought a ticket to went and go and watch the movie District 9.
South African
South
aliens.
African alien thing,
Yep.
and it's set like a movie made like a
Documentary.
So there's a lot of handheld camera work,
Yep.
and all that kind of stuff, which some people can't watch because big screen, handheld camera, a
Yep.
lot of movement, Blair Witch, Cloverfield,
Yep.
they'll get a bit unwell. So she went and watched the movie for about half an hour, I think. Then she came out. I was just standing there, doing my job,
Making the popcorn.
Yeah, she goes, I'm sorry, can I go watch another movie? I can't watch that movie. I'm like, yeah, sure. What? Like, we can swap your ticket. Why is that? Is it? I'm like, is it because of the camera work? It's a bit much. She goes, no, I just cannot stand the South African accent. I was just like, okay, right.
It's not a harsh accent.
No, but she was not a fan. She couldn't listen to it. So she was that bad. She watched half an hour of a 2-hour movie, came out and went, I need to watch something else. I think she went and watched Glee or something. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I can't remember what she went and watched. But I was just like,
It's
okay,
a bug again.
that's fine.
There's
So-
your warning, people.
off
If
she
you're
goes.
going to go and see a movie that's full of middle-aged women, be prepared for something not so expected.
There was also, speaking of our earlier discussions of a kids movie that may be not good for kids,
Hashtag return to Oz.
had an older lady past the middle age
Golden
take
age.
her grandchild to see Kick-Ass.
Oh,
And the Kick-Ass,
Oh.
the kid was probably 9. And Kick-Ass is...
comic book movies, though?
Yeah, so she was like, I thought it was just an action movie. I'm like, no, the 11-year-old says cunt in it. I'm not like, no.
And it's not rated G or PG.
I'm pretty sure it was an MA 15 plus at least.
And, well, and that's why when Deadpool came out, and Deadpool's rated R,
Yes.
American R, which is Australian MA,
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds did a whole lot of announcements and a whole lot of press about do not take your kids to
Yeah,
this film.
yeah.
And there's this big, you can find it still on YouTube or on Ryan Reynolds' channels, saying don't be that guy that takes your kids to this movie ignoring the rating,
Yeah.
then complains, and then makes it to the point where they don't get to make Deadpool 2, or that branch of Marvel that's not owned by Disney, that's owned by Sony, because if they was owned by Disney, they wouldn't be making an MA movie.
No.
Can't make any more movies that push the boundaries, because Deadpool, even in the comics, is a character that is that little bit more out there.
Yes. I think that it's if you're a person that's going to go watch a movie with kids, or you're a person that doesn't like very specific things, like maybe look into movies before you go and see them.
Yeah. And it's also to the point now where you can't just take kids to cartoons. Because
No,
there's
because
like
Sausage Party, yeah,
is the
yeah.
one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But even like TV, and we won't talk a lot about the small screen, but like Family Guy and stuff, you can't Big Mouth on Netflix.
Yes,
You
yeah,
can't just go,
yeah.
cartoon, my kids can watch this. No, they actually
Yeah.
can't.
Although if they do watch Big Mouth, they will learn a lot.
They won't need to read the
They
book.
won't need to
Look
do-
what's happening to me.
And they won't need to do any sex ed at
No.
school, so
Um,
educational.
in some schools, Big Mouth might be better sex ed than they get in some schools.
Yes.
All right. Getting to know you. We've covered most of what we wanted to tell our audience
Yep.
about as
Yep.
they consume our content.
We talked about movies we like. I reckon next episode
Yes.
we should think about a movie that we don't like or that a lot of people like and we just can't.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So movies that most people like,
I've already got
but
one
we kind of...
ticket in my head.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. All right. And We will have an Oscars special.
We will, because I will be working.
Actually,
from
that
home.
Oscars special will have been episode 2. This is what we're recording now, is episode 3. Will be the third thing released. Oscars
Okay.
will have been a special in between episodes 1 and 2.
Yes.
So this is episode 2 of Two Drink Cinema in our normal format.
Yep.
But there will have been the Oscars special before episode 2.
Right.
Because the Oscars is so special.
It is very special. It holds a special place in my heart.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you, everyone.
Viewing and ingesting
Consuming and
our
ingesting and
content.
injecting.
Find us on Facebook and Instagram at Two Drink Cinema with the @ symbol. You know how that works. You can hashtag Two Drink Cinema too. Tweet us, DM us. Let us know if there's anything that you'd like us to talk about. Let us know what you think of Return to Oz.
Yes, please.
And we will be back soon.